YouTube, Charles here this evening. It's Friday evening the 8th. Doing a little prep work, getting ready to put the exhaust on tomorrow. And we have the old exhaust laying out here, so you can see it. And we have our other one there for our patterns. And so we have a new one made. I made it a little longer on the end down there, because I'm going to cut it off where I want it after I get it mounted. Here's the crossover, and then this piece has been blasted and is in good shape, so I was going to reuse that. The pipe, the new shiny pipe here, galvanized pipe you see here, muffler exhaust pipe, is 2-inch. All of this is 2-inch with expansions in the right places. $37.54. So doing an exhaust ain't too bad if you can reuse some of your stuff. I've been prepping hardware. These are new 2-inch clamps. Now I did drill the holes out larger on my brackets here, so that gives me a little bit of room to move this and adjust. I'm going to show you why that I'm going to use these here in just a minute. I'll show you why I'm going to mount them up like this. This will be like a backing plate, and I'll keep this from, over the years of the tension, deflecting, keep it from deflecting and bending inward, and that's what creates some of the distortion where you mount it. So that's what I'm going to do to remedy that problem. You'll see that as we go along, and been cleaning up some extra hardware here. Don't know exactly what we'll be needing. We got some scrap hardware over there. So we're moving right along and getting ready for installation. So I have been preparing the brackets for mounting that hold the exhaust pipe down along the combine, exhausting out the end there. So the mounting brackets have been prepared, the surfaces have been prepared. We're going to weld those on with the Miller 211 from the main shop, and we have 2 of these to weld on. One over here. You can see where they broke out. When they get hot and they just have the clamp around them, this weakens over time and bends inward towards the hopper. That's why I'm going to use the exhaust clamp backing. And then so we will prepare and get ready to weld. One quick note: you think you have your combine clean, and you find these. There's hundreds more tucked right under the lip of the hopper, all the way under this hopper extension is just filled with them under there. And you think you have it cleaned, and you find a surprise. That's the life of a combine owner. Okay, YouTube, it's the next day. I'm back at working on welding the brackets. I'm going to weld those on, and then I will show you when I'm finished. Okay, after some delay, I got these welded on. We will clean that up, tape it off, and paint that. But we're going to be doing preliminary fittings first, getting everything built, and then we will be cleaning up and getting ready to make it permanent. So welding went well, and I had a few delays, got started, and the tank was out of argon. So check your tank before you get everything prepared. The Miller 211 done wonderfully, and we are moving right along now. So initial fit up is looking good. I had this made about 1 foot longer. We will probably cut it off at a 45-degree angle, or we might leave it. I ain't decided. Probably cut it off though, it's quite a bit sticking out. Initial fit up looks well. Comes right around, and we are right in our hole here. So that's looking good. This is what I was talking about on the clamps. Use the back of the exhaust clamp, and then what that does, it created backing. You can see that's still a little bent right there. That will pull that up to that, and it won't allow it to bend anymore towards the hopper. So initial fit up is looking good. Going to snug this up and then start working under the hood and working over towards the manifold. Okay, so we're still working on initial fit up. Been fighting a little bit along the way. We have everything here working out good. When this was made, this might have got a little tight right here. Closer, I'd like to be centered on this hole, but we'll see how that all turns out yet. We're just initial fit up. But what is the strange thing when you're fitting pipe? I'm not a pipe fitter, but we copied the original exactly. Appears I am this much short. So I'm either going to cut this and weld this in, get what we need, which is probably what I'll do tomorrow, and kind of go from there. Or I would have to go and have a new one made, but I can weld this. I've done it before. It welds easy if you have a MIG welder. So another day at it. That's working on a combine for you. Okay, back with you. We copied the pipe exactly on the patterns that we had from the old combine and the one we're working on. But I have to extend this pipe in here about 2 inches or so. Seems to be a little short. So we're doing some pipe stretching here, and I will show you how we're doing that. The first thing I wanted to do was cut the piece I needed and get it as straight as possible. So I used the big Ellis chop saw. Very invaluable tool when you want to do some fabricating. So we have our pipe cut, we have our piece made, we have it clamped to a piece of angle iron here so that we could weld it up. And that's what we're going to do now, is weld it up. We don't have to worry about orientation because we can spin the pipe on the connecting pipe here. So we're ready to stretch this pipe about 2 1/4 inches. So I have initial fit up. I would like to see this more centered on the hole, but I can live with that. I think when we do the initial bolt up, it will move away from there a little bit. Get enough room back here for our clamp, so it's like that. This is all looking pretty good. I'm going to replace these with a little bit longer hardware. So that's looking good. I think our throttle, excuse my fingers, will work. We have enough clearance there. Like I was saying, things start getting pretty tight over here when you start adding all this stuff in. We got to clamp it there, and we're leaving the hood under there. Okay, I've got some marks there to line up. Here's where we had to stretch it. Did pretty good. I've done better, but I'm a little out of practice. Wildcat Willie does all the welding now, but it'll hold. So I've got to slot these here in 3 places, about 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Get a clamp to go around there, mount it there, and then worry about the end over there. So that's what I'm going to start working on now, and then start putting all of the permanent hardware in. Okay, we have our cast elbow mounted permanently. We have the gasket, new hardware in there, and we put never sees on them, right or wrong. We have to take them off. Hopefully it will help. This one is a booger. You get a 1/4 of a turn, and then you have to flip your wrench. It starts getting tight. Okay, as we prep everything for final installation, we taped off where we had to weld, and we rattle canned that. Don't knock my spray painting methods, because we're not going for a sports car. We're going for a functional combine. We just want to slow the rate of decay. We don't want it to start rusting, streaking down the side. Plus, we're going to use it, and we usually bring them home, put them in the shed every evening if we can. Very seldom will it sit outside anymore unless I sell it. So my kids are helping me paint the pipes. It's not that critical. We got high temp paint, and it gets them involved. Want it to be an enjoyable experience for the kids. Okay, we have our next pipe installed here. It's a little bit loose because we are going to have to adjust it as we head over there to fit. So things are coming together one piece at a time. Okay, YouTube, finally have the exhaust mounted. It was a challenge. Nothing wanted to go easy today, but patience persevered. We got everything clamped up where it's going to be. That is going to be clamped there, coming up and around. Our throttle is in the wide open position. There's idle, so we're good there. We have to get these held onto the wall right here. That's the way they originally were. Coming around and going up under there. Around to this side, coming out of there. I am very happy with that fit up. Just barely close to the bottom. I don't know if you can see it right there. That fit up went excellent. We have our brackets on. Got a little rust protection on them there. And we have our backing so that it won't bend in the future. We have it painted. This is also a high temp paint. I let the kids do that. They enjoyed it. They painted all the pipes. They're not perfect, but it's a combine. And it's probably going to burn off anyway. So we had some enjoyment today. At a later date, when I'm finished and can move it around, I will probably cut this off at a 45-degree angle, and that'll be at a later date. The exhaust is finished. We're moving on to the fuel system, and we also will eventually have to put the air breather up through this hole here and mount that under there, but that is going to be later. We won't be out in the fields because we have to rebuild and go through and free up that variable speed pulley right down there. So fuel system is next. We'll start working on that, and then we will be able to start moving it around and taking on thrasher mechanisms and seeing what needs to be done there. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe. William is working on building his channel. I'm just trying to help him out because I'm rebuilding this combine, and we'll go from there. Thank you.